Team, hope you're well. Welcome to another episode of the Unnamed Prep Series. Hope you're all well. Hope you're sitting back and relaxing, eating your food that I can't have, you fucks. But no, in all seriousness, hope you're well. Welcome to another episode. In the background, we're going to be going through the lat, arm, leg session. So that's quite cool. We obviously spoke about that in a previous vlog regarding my training split. That's basically that. So that's all good. There's not much new here. Apart from I did actually train at Bodyworks, which is actually a pretty fucking sick gym. Hoping to get back there a few times. Also hoping to go to Le Coach when it opens. But my home for prep is going to be Kratos, which is going to be sick. So today's topic isn't about any of that shit. It's about scale weight, because obviously I'm in prep. Obviously, there's going to be a relationship between fat loss and scale weight. There's no doubt about that, right? In order for you to see yourself get shredded, in order for you to kind of compete on stage, you're going to have to see the scale weight go down. But the hard part is realizing that because the scale weight's not coming down doesn't mean you're not losing fat. But at the same time, you kind of need the scale weight to come down. It's kind of one of them things that's just like, oh shit, what the fuck? Which is why I'm going to talk about why you take photos and stuff like that, right? So look, scale weight is going to be a trend. As long as that trend line's coming down, as long as you're not like starting prep at 85 and ending at 85, obviously you're not going to be shredded there unless you're on gear. We're not, so, well, I'm not, as you can obviously probably tell, but yeah, it doesn't necessarily, what does have to happen in terms of like a natural prep is the scale weight's going to have to come down. It's just going to have to, right? So when we're looking at how to lose weight, it's like we're going to have to create a calorie deficit. We're going to have a weekly rate of loss in order for us to see ourselves get shredded. Now, there's going to be points in your prep, but there's going to be a point in your fat loss phase where scale weight does hold. It will happen, right? Happened for me last week when I first started prep, which is kind of shit because straight out the gates you kind of want to be really quick because essentially you've got no diet fatigue, etc. And it didn't kind of pan out like that. So we were kind of eyeing up having the idea of basically either cutting calories straight away or just letting it do its thing and then hoping there's going to be a whoosh. Luckily there was a whoosh. So you understand that now I'm actually dieting on technically higher calories than I would have been, able to now kind of maintain gym performance by having more food, right? And also losing an appropriate rate of loss. So because the scale weight held for 5 days, you could be quite quick to react and go, calories deducted. And of course what happens then is you're on less and less and less and less calories, which means your ability to recover, perform, etc. in the gym is just going to be dampened, which means at the end of prep you're going to have 0 to no muscle mass, right? So there's a few things to obviously consider with scale weight, and that's obviously number 1, to be patient, right? And number 2, to have a look at your actual physique. Like, do you see like new lines in the mirror? Do you see like, I don't know, like new veins in the mirror? Do you see like new striations in the mirror, right? What's going on, right? Are you eating saltier foods? Are you not going for a number 2 before you weigh in? There's multiple different things that kind of occur with scale weight, right? So one thing that you need to do in terms of your fat loss is just be patient with the scale weight. Just because you're not losing weight doesn't mean you're not losing fat. However, at the same time, you don't want to be too patient. Like at the same time, like you could be holding weight for like 2 or 3 weeks, nothing's happened, right? Well, nothing's happening with your physique and nothing's happening with the scale weight. You're gonna have to move, right? You're gonna have to deduct calories, and arguably you could have done that a couple of weeks ago and be in a better position now. So scale weight is one of them things, again, that's just going to really fuck with someone's head, especially if you're self-coached. And I was self-coached for the first 2 kind of preps, as it were, and it really fucked me mentally. Obviously, the last 3 fat loss phases, and now 4th, I'm actually, or have been doing it with a coach, and it's obviously just contextualizing things, like just because my weight stayed at 85.6 for 3 days, or 5 days, sorry, doesn't mean that I'm not tighter, leaner, right? It kind of has my understanding of, right, okay, actually when I look in the mirror, now that you've said it, when I look in the mirror, I'm actually tighter, especially in the midsection, especially in my arms, etc. So yeah, like I hate the word like trust the process, but at the same time, it's kind of one of them things within a fat loss phase. It's kind of like scale weight's going to be a fucking bitch. But the trick is not to be too patient with it, but also be patient with it and not realize that just because the scale weight doesn't come down doesn't mean you're not losing fat. So yeah, that's basically today's spiel. Peace. Trust the process, motherfuckers.